Silly. What? Ha ha ha. Silly. What?
Welcome to Mom's Art 2. Hi, Brooke.
I know.
Okay, this episode, we are farting around with your pal and mine, funny man, TedTobin.
Yeah, he'll be joining us to discuss our favorite TV shows of all time, shows that you can watch while this writer strike is still happening.
Yeah, we got to start making lists.
But Ted's the best.
Ted is the best. I want to tell you about something.
Oh.
So we went to the beach the other day, and I know I have a problem with California beaches. Listen.
What's your problem? What is your fucking problem with California?
I love California.
So tired of it.
I know. I love California. It's hard to... Well, okay, so we went to Ventura Beach. It was beautiful. And sometimes I just need like an hour there to like rejuvenate my soul. I need to smell the salt water. I need to like...
Get some tar on your feet.
Yes. No, we didn't have any tar, which was nice.
Oh.
However, all the kids were playing and, boarding and whatever. And then they came in and Charlie's like, I'm just going to go out and swim for a little while, just further out. And he goes out there and he's walking out there, got to the place right where it breaks. So he's like diving through the wave. There's a huge fucking sea lion next to him in the wave. And I was like, hey, like, come, like, we have a friend who was attacked by sea lions. And
That's a thing?
Yeah. He cannot go in the water. He was attacked by a family of sea lions and he, like, is petrified.
Did they nibble on him?
No,
like, what happened?
they were going to kill him.
How?
I don't know. I think he was on like a boat tour or something and they went swimming and there was a family of seals and he got in the middle of it and they attacked him.
Like with their
Yeah, he
tails?
had to punch. No, I think with their teeth. They like tried to pull him under. And so
Oh.
he had to like punch them. And I don't know how exactly he got out.
Did
Could
someone
you imagine-
record this? I need to see
Can
it.
you imagine having to punch a seal?
Look, if
That
you're
would be
trying to
so
drag me
sad.
under. Sorry, seal.
That's true. Yeah, sorry, seal. So there's this huge. So I have a nerve about that, right? Like the ocean is scary.
You cannot take the sea for granted just because you live near a beach community and you
That
go
is
all the
right.
time. I'm telling you because, well, you know my Jesus.
I know.
Story.
That's in a previous episode. You guys have to listen because that is.
I
but
saw Jesus at the beach.
She literally saw Jesus in every form of the way she saw Jesus. So Charlie's going out there and there's a big, huge seal. And I was like, come in. So he comes in. I'm like, there's a huge seal next to you. And it's like popping out of the water right where he was. So then we start seeing a couple more. And they're popping their heads out. And then we look down the beach and there's one on the beach with like laying down. And Tegan's like, my niece is staying with us. She's like, is that a seal? And I'm like, yeah, let's go walk down there. And, of course, they're, like, running towards the seal. I'm like, you can't, you're going to scare them. You don't want to attack, whatever. So they get down there, and then the seal's, like, lifting up its head really high, and he's not doing anything, like engaging.
Was he having a Little Mermaid moment?
A little bit, except we found out. So we asked this group of people that were sitting there, and the seal's right in front of them. They're not moving. He's not moving. And we were like, I just go, is this normal? And the lady's like, yeah, the seal, it's dying.
What?
Because there's an algae in Ventura in the water that's killing the fucking seals. So they're like, we called, it's like illegal to touch them. You cannot engage it. You call the thing and she's like, I've called 4 times and their voicemail's full. We've called the people up on the beach and they're going to come down when they can, but they're getting so many calls for seals dying on the beach.
Yikes.
I know. That's what I mean.
Because of an algae?
Because of an algae. And then we just got out of the water. I was like, what the does it affect us too?
Right.
But then once we were out of the water, we didn't see, every once in a while we'd see a seal pass or whatever. And then once we were like, okay, well maybe they're gone. We went back into the water for a second and they came in. So I think, I'm assuming, I don't speak seal, but I'm assuming.
You don't speak seal.
I do.
Come
I do.
on.
But I think they were like worried about their friend that was dying. And so they wanted to like stay in the area. And it was really hard. I didn't want to be like, we're leaving. So I called the thing and I left a message and then I did the online form and let them know exactly where we were and what time it was and like all these things. And I don't know if they got the message, but like as soon as I saw that seal dying, and people are like playing frisbee around it.
I know.
And I'm like, this is heartbreaking.
Not going to ruin my beach day.
I know. And so I was like, I don't know if I can be in this. Like, if I can't go up and help this thing. But see, the thing is, too, and I think sometimes we forget about this, and this happens with, like, other animals, that if they're wild animals, they are more stressed if we get close to them. Like, my instinct is to go, come here, baby, I'll help you.
Yeah.
But that actually is way more stressful for that animal because they're like, a human is going to fucking kill me or whatever they think. We have to remember that. So I had to honestly, like, stop myself from going over there because I'm like, I actually could really harm this seal by getting close to it, thinking I'm cuddling him and making the end of his life good. And he's petrified in his last moment. So anyway, that was Ventura. That was last week. And I just am, and then I was talking to friends about the water and everything. I was like, where do I go? Like, Will Rogers Beach is really nice.
Yeah.
But like Santa Monica's gross. And then there's the cove up in Ventura that's gross. And then some of the beaches you can't because there's so many surfers, which is great for surfers, or the waves are so big and you get like sucked out or smashed into rocks. It's hard to find.
Laguna.
Is Laguna good?
Laguna Beach is the best.
Okay.
But it's a trek for you.
That's okay. It's
'Cause
only
it's
an
a
hour
trek
to
for
Ventura
us.
or an hour to Will Rogers.
Yeah.
It's 51 minutes to Will Rogers Beach, which I don't mind. But
Laguna's got this really great, I think it's called like Pirate Cove or something. And
Okay.
it's just this little cove.
is the sand mushy when you go in the water?
Yeah, it's nice. No, I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not like rocky or.
Yeah, that's good.
No,
it was a little
and
rocky in
people
Ventura.
snorkel over there because it's so clear and
okay.
it's shallow, and because it's like a cove, the waves don't come in crazy, so it's really great for kids. We used to go there all the
I'll
time.
do that. I'll try that because that would be a good beach day. There's a cove up in Ventura. It's like McGrath Beach. And everybody's like, go to this one part. It's so, like, the water, barely any waves. It's great for kids. And so on one side, there's two things of rocks, and people get slammed into the rocks, which we've seen. It's been terrible. Ambulances, fire trucks.
You saw it.
Yeah. I went into the water to try to help these two girls.
What?
Yes.
Where are you going? I lived here for 20 years.
But this is what I'm saying is I have it. So, yeah. So there's this one thing in McGrath Beach where it's two rock things that go out and you can really get shoved into the rocks. On the other side of it, it's really calm. And so I took the kids over there and we were sitting there and I'm like, this is weird. Like, it's stinky a little bit over here. And there's a marina. And we know after being on boats or whatever, people dump like right before they go into the marina. They dump their boat poops.
Oh.
You're supposed to do it like miles out, but you have to dump before you go into the marina. You can't dump in the marina. So they do it right there. So the water in this cove it's mushy. The sand is mushy. And there's fish that jump out of the water.
No.
If the fish are fucking jumping out of the water, you should not be swimming there because they can't breathe.
Well, it's nice at the Laguna one because they even have like sea urchins and.
Oh,
so,
I want to
like,
do that. I'll do
You've
that.
got like a little cove, and then where the cove, comes out into the water, that is rock, and you can climb, and there's like little pools of hot water because.
I love that.
You know that you can sit in.
I love that. I have to find that.
There's sea urchins, kids can stick their fingers in, and then you go on the other side of the cove, and it's a longer pass. And it's like
white sand
desolate.
beaches.
Yeah, like there's
okay.
no one there.
I'm going to do that. I need to find a beach out here. So if anybody is really, I know people are always.
Do you ever go to Malibu?
I've been to Malibu. I like having like a hot dog stand. I'm very high maintenance. I need like a hot dog stand close by with bathrooms. Not because of the hot dog stand. Like somewhere where I can go and get like, a snacky.
Right.
And then I also need the fish to not jump out of the water. And I also I don't want to be attacked by seals. Like, those are my things.
I mean, I grew up in on a lake, and so fish jumped up all the time. We were swimming. One time a fish came up. We'll end on this note. Came up, flopped me and smacked me in my face, and then went down, and my hair smelled like fish for like 2 weeks. And it was mortifying. I was in middle school, and everyone saw it.
Everyone saw the fish slap you in the face?
Like, jump up and go. And
what if he was the coolest fish in his school? And he was
Because
like,
he
watch,
did
I'm going to hit
that?
this bitch. Yeah. And he like made
Well,
everybody laugh under
At
there.
my expense.
Yeah.
So I think that's
He's a
a
bully.
lesson that there are bully fish out there. And we can't be putting up with that. We need to speak out. But I think this is a good time for us to start farting around with friends.
Yay! Let's get to Ted.
Farting around with friends.
Fart, fart, fart.
With friends.
Whoa, whoa.
Hey, little Sauvignon Blanc got us crazy.
Yeah. I've had 2 sips and I'm already hitting on the married women.
That's a whole other conversation. But yeah, we were on Next TV, and actually Next TV was owned by Martinelli, the president that made out with me.
The
I've
president
met
that
2
made
presidents in Panama.
and have they both
And one
made out
stuck
with
his
you?
Tongue. No, the other one was really nice. Varela, he's gone.
I hope the one who stuck his tongue in your mouth was nice as well.
No, he went to prison.
He's corrupt.
He was corrupt, and he went to prison.
Oh
Yeah.
my God! Do you,
So-
at any way, take any sort of blame or credit for that?
She takes a cream for it.
That's right.
known.
Can we talk about who's here today, please? Ted Tobin is a writer, director, producer who has worked in the industry for a really long time at a particularly high level, and he is our friend.
What? And we had the pleasure of working with him on Mamma Mia, and he actually just finished directing a really funny show, Comedy of Tenors.
Yes,
Thank
but
you.
that show closed. So now he has nothing to do but humor us on our show. Hey, Ted.
Teddy.
Hello, ladies.
Hello, ladies.
Hello, ladies. Mamma Mia. So let's jump
Yeah,
right in
okay,
here
so
for
tell
Mamma
me-
Mia.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So the shirt that you're wearing
Yes.
was our cast shirt
Yes.
for Mamma Mia, and for those of you who can't see it, it's got the Mamma Mia girls on the front, and on back of it. It has a saying. Now, when they came around to ask me, "Do you want a cast shirt?"
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, it says this on the back," and I said, "Well, no, I don't really want that because I live in Santa Clarita with a bunch of conservative people."
Yeah. What does the back say? I don't
It
even know what the back
says you are a dancing queen. And probably for my golf buddies, that probably wasn't going to work.
You know what? I say fuck it. Because we are a dancing queen, and you are a dancing queen because you were amazing in that show, and you danced your ass off.
Ah, yeah.
And he had a
You
really
did.
hot little onesie.
He did have a hot.
Woo!
What color onesie were you? Yellow.
Yellow.
Oh,
Yeah,
you were
you
so
were.
cute,
Yeah.
Ted.
And then the very next role I played was Colonel Mustard in Clue. So again, I had to wear
Yellow,
all
yellow.
yellow. Yeah, there was a lot of yellow.
You have a theme
That's right.
going
It
on.
was
It's the year of the yellow.
I think
love
that's
that.
good because that show was fantastic too, by the way.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
Clue was
Thank
just
you.
a good time.
Clue's a good
It's a
time.
real
It's,
good
it's a
time.
fun little
Yeah.
show, and the great thing about that show is it's so short that by the time you start it, the end is in sight. You're going, oh, it's almost over.
Yeah. That's such a doors, open doors.
Oh yeah,
kind of
yeah.
Show I
well, so
love.
was my last one, Comedy of Tenors.
Yeah.
Was
Yep.
It was
a
very
farce.
farcical. Yeah.
I
It-
saw
you
so
know-
much of you in that. We were both saying like, "Oh, that's Ted."
Yeah.
Oh, I can see him in it. I love when I know the people involved with the making creative minds of it, and you go, "I can see them in it." It's amazing.
Yeah.
We had a blast. A great cast, and
The
Yeah.
cast was great.
yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah, your
Who-
cast was really good.
The gentleman who played the producer,
Gary Raff.
yeah,
Oh, yeah,
he
he was
connected with
funny.
me on Facebook, and he knows a
He
lot
did?
of my. He knows a lot of my friends from the academy, like people I've acted with back, like
He didn't connect with
time.
me.
Well, listen,
Oh.
I do. If you need the number of somebody to get you a good restraining order, I'll let you know. We all have restraining orders against Gary, so we're
Got it.
yeah,
Okay.
Gary's the restraining order cast.
so they
member.
must have heard that she's a raging bitch, and like don't.
Don't
Right.
fuck with me. You know, that was actually the thing when I told you this before, but when I worked in comedy clubs, there was, well, Mel's not going to fuck you. Like, if the comics come in, just nope, don't even try it.
But you know
Not
what
gonna
she
happen.
was? The pimp.
I was a little bit of a pimp. But that was back in the day when things were weird.
She was like, "Oh, I got you a girl to suck your dick. Let me go
listen,
hit. Let
or
me go
you
get
can
her."
masturbate in
But
front of this girl. She won't care.
yeah, but if
Oh,
I
you
could,
did a lot of shows with
No.
Louis C.K.
I did do a lot. Actually,
yes.
Oh, I got the Louis C.K. stories. We
She
won't
told-
share them.
You know what's crazy though? She told me all those stories like 12 years ago,
Right.
and I was just like, I mean, makes sense.
Right. That's
Still
how we
gonna
live.
watch him. I'm still gonna listen to his shit.
He's still funny. It's funny the statute of limitations on doing something like that. How long do you have to wait before you can get back?
Well,
Yeah.
but here's the thing, and I think we talked to
Yeah.
maybe I cut this out of an episode we did. I think I did actually. But here's the thing with Louis is that his new show his new whatever it is that he did at Madison Square Garden or whatever it was, it is clearly leaning towards a certain way. He used to do very like self-deprecating, family, daughter, how I live, blah, blah, blah. And now he is very leaning a certain way where it's like you can clearly see who he wants his audience to be. And it's the people that forgive him for what he did before. It's very, very clear.
I haven't listened to
I had to turn it off. I wanted to watch it because I thought, okay, I mean, because I have opinions about what he used to do. And I am not angry, and I didn't feel like it's very circumstantial. It's awful what he did. I'm not going to say that, but it's complicated. And so I thought, okay, well, I'm going to see maybe he'll, like John Maloney, total retribution. His whole new Watch Maloney on Netflix, his entire special is so, like, absolutely confronting what he did. It's incredible.
What did he do?
Well, he did a lot of drugs and he did a lot of drugs.
He got sober and he was, you know,
he was fucked up.
He had interventions and shit, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but his wife left, like all these things. He was really not a great person to be around.
And he just got married.
I know, but he absolutely takes accountability and he makes it funny, all of his horrible things that happened to him or he did, and you go, holy shit, like he really wraps his arms around it. And it's amazing. And then you watch Louis C.K.'s and it's like, you're not fucking taking accountability for anything. You're just
So he's not apologetic about the whole thing? Really?
I have not seen a single thing. Nope. And this whole comedy special. Well, I only watched the first 20 minutes because I couldn't fucking take it.
Yeah.
And Louis C.K. used to be like...
well, same shit. I'm a huge fan of...
I can't believe he's not apologetic. Listen, I'm apologetic after I masturbate on my own.
Right?
You're feeling bad.
Yeah.
I know you call me and I'm like, you don't need to apologize.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I know.
I'm apologetic. You know when I'm apologetic and I need to work? This is something, it'll be on the next episode. But we already taped it, so just whatever. I'm apologetic after I go out and I'm in public or I'm even with friends, not you guys, but other friends, and I leave and I come home and I'm like, oh, I was probably annoying. Everybody is annoyed with me. Oh, I shouldn't do that. Oh, I hate myself. Oh, blah, 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 blah. I get in the car and I'm like, no, I shouldn't have said that. Or, oh, they probably think I'm annoying the way I talk.
I do that sometimes too.
Yeah.
I think it's also because I don't know, after having kids too, and you're not around people, and then you go out in front of people, and then you're like socially awkward and strange.
You know what? This is going to sound very cliche, but as I get older, I care less and less.
I do care less and less.
I just don't care.
I want to be there. Can you put your mic towards your face a little bit?
Oh, it fell.
Here, scoot it that way a little bit.
I'm just going to do this really quick so that I can see our line, because I don't think we need this anymore.
This mic is not going to stay.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, it does do this is the one stand that does the...
It slowly will go down.
You're good. You can actually put it down.
Okay.
Put it down. I would put it that way just a little bit.
How's that?
Great.
That's better.
All right.
That's perfect.
Yes, as I get...
We'll do a commercial break there.
Okay. As I get older, I really don't care as much about what... And my whole life was predicated on what other people thought of me all the time. Oh, God. It's my downfall. Yeah, absolutely. I always cared about... way too much about what others thought of me and
what did you do about it in that moment? Like, how did you deal with it, and then how did you like switch? Oh my God, this show is totally different
nothing to do
than what we were gonna do. But we knew you'd sit down and we would just go, so it's fine.
How did I make the switch? Well, I mean, I think honestly it came in my 50s when I decided, okay, I've been single for my entire freaking life.
Yeah.
And if I do not decide or figure out how to be happy on my own, I will never be happy. I may never be happy. So that was part of it.
That's
and
hard.
part of it was letting go of self-deprecating humor. I used to always do self-deprecating humor constantly.
Yeah.
And then one day I just said, this is doing me no good.
Yeah.
And I let that go. And when I let that go, some of the caring what other people thought just kind of went away from me. And also, if you're, I walked around for years and years and decades of my life going, is she the one? Is she the one? Is she the one? Is she the one?
Jesus.
And when you let go of all of that,
Yeah.
then you have a freedom to go, oh, that's meaningless and that's meaningless. And so I pick and choose. I still care what people think about me, obviously.
Of course, but you're a kind
But
person.
it's not as consuming, and
It's not as all consuming. Yeah, it's not as all consuming.
I think when I'm with friends, like we just had a dinner party the other day with friends who I've known since I was 19 and are in our comics and stuff. And I was with them, and when I'm in social situations, I want everybody to feel good. And so I want to listen to their stories really hard, and I want to make sure that they're feeling heard. But then as soon as I talk about myself, I'll be like, oh, this happened and this happened, and then I stop talking, and then I leave, and I'm like, why did I talk about myself? And they're probably annoyed. Like I probably went on too long. Like it's fucking awful. It's tormenting.
There's also another aspect to it when you're a performer and when you're doing you. I can go to a show now or a concert or anything, a movie, and I can watch that show and legitimately say, oh my God, they were amazing, instead of, oh my God, why didn't I get there first? Why wasn't that me, right?
That's hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when that goes away, it gives you the freedom to just enjoy what you're doing and not always have that sort of shadow over yourself, like I'm failing because I didn't do that.
Yep. I used to that. Go ahead.
I was going to say this podcast really was the turning point for me on the not giving fucks. Because when we had a handful of episodes already, we had done marketing photos, like we were ready to launch the podcast, and we just kept going, no, we're not ready. No, it's not perfect enough. No, like we don't want to put ourselves out there like that, because once we start, we know we're going to. And I think once it started going up and like the marketing was out, and some days I was like, why? In one video, I'm like, I look like I'm a primate.
We had, like, our shorts up over our bellies and our boobs
my
were
tits
right
were like
here.
down here, and I was like, just into it. And but the whole time I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's the fuck.
Like, we didn't know how to be on camera yet.
Yeah,
and be
and
natural
so,
just because.
Or just like, what are people gonna think? Like judging you, like, and who the fuck do these girls
think they are? Who cares about them?
What they're talking about? Because that was our big thing. Like,
Nobody cares
who
about what we have to
fucking cares
say.
what we're talking about?
But there was a minute in your podcast, and by the way, I've listened to every
he
single one of them.
listens
He's
weekly,
the one we
gives us
reference.
notes. He's amazing.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
the one we reference all the
There
time.
was a minute in your podcast where you guys went, oh, fuck it, this is what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything changed right then from that episode on. And I think I even sent you a message going, do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Which
were
one was
ourselves.
it?
Yes.
It was the Rob's one. And Sheena wrote me too, and she was like, "That was fucking awesome."
And
Because
then
we were ourselves,
yes.
But professional.
but professional. But we knew
We had a tight ship too, because he's like a producer. He's the one who.
But I think that was the moment where you sort of let go of what should this podcast be,
Yeah.
and then you decided, oh, it should be us. Yes, it should be us.
Yeah.
And that's what it is now.
Yeah.
And
it wasn't Rob's. It was Rob's.
even when you do interviews now, it's less about, oh, I'm playing an interviewer, and it's now more about you guys.
That is we have to come back to that a little bit too, because I think we had a little bit of a rut in there where we really wanted it to be about the person and what they're doing, but we felt like we were holding back our opinions and goofiness because we wanted to seem professional. And now, even just with the last episode,
Oh my God,
Candace,
that was such a great episode.
She's amazing.
Love her.
But
I have
we felt-
never wanted to be a Christian lesbian more than I did.
Right?
After I
100%.
yes,
Listen to that episode. It's great.
But we really felt like ourselves in that. So we had her come into our space instead of feeling like, welcome, let's make sure you feel comfortable. And like we have to be ourselves. And if
Right.
we say bad words or we say off,
So we've actually put it in our pre-pro email that we send out. We
Listen,
tell them,
warning.
warning, we're going to focus on you, but we're also
You're here for a
goofy
reason.
and silly, and we will totally go off track.
Well, you have to stay on brand. This
Yeah.
is,
That's right.
And the beauty of it is that a brand isn't a bad word. It's not an ugly word.
Yeah.
Your brand is you guys. and that's
It's
an
true. It's so true.
And it's exciting. It's exciting and it's fun. A lot of people think, oh, they're promoting their brand. They're doing their. It's not a bad word. It's a great word. That's what the world is built on now.
And it's really confusing for us too with podcasts like this, because a lot of people that are in the industry, they'll have a podcast and it's pushing for you to like
buy something.
I have this podcast and this information, but here's actually now it's going to lead you over to my book or to my whatever it is, and we don't have
anything. We have nothing to sell.
It's really just it's an opportunity for us to hang out
and talk.
Yes.
Out loud.
But
to an adult.
But that's the only thing you can do, and eventually all the other stuff will come.
That's true. We're gonna write so many books.
Right. Do you think all these influencers, they're selling products? They're selling themselves.
That's true.
That's true.
They're selling themselves, and the products will come after that. People don't give them products to sell because they're such good salesmen.
That's
true. They give them because they're a personality that people glom onto. Yeah, absolutely, and that's what you guys
want people to glom on to me.
You should get glommed every day.
I want to be glommed. Yes, like, fucking on my face glommed. I want to be glommed.
I think that's a different profession.
Whatever. Listen,
you are glamorous.
Oh, Dad, you're so kind. We should talk about what we're going to talk about today.
Well, being a writer,
Ted,
we've been, going
like a
through
professional
this whole,
writer, like a real writer.
Really getting paid. There's a writer's strike still happening. There may even be a SAG strike. There might be a director's strike. I mean, like everybody's jumping in.
Which they should
strike.
And I know it's a very, very touchy subject, but I feel like
I'm
100%.
As a writer who doesn't really get paid for it.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
I love working non-union because I've stayed non-union for so long, but the fact that I have to work non-union and I get paid a flat rate for a commercial or whatever, I'm like, but it's going up forever in perpetuity, and I got $2,500.
Yeah.
And that's sucky.
That is sucky.
Yeah, before the internet, I did a Big Lots commercial and made like $30,000 in residuals in like 4 months.
Yeah.
Those days may be gone.
I know.
Yeah.
But there has to be a new machine. Like we have to reinvent the machine, right?
Which is why there's a strike.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think too with the whole AI thing, because where I have been paid and professionally is in copy, and so the concern is. Too around all of that, like, are we just going to be taken over? Or
let me just tell you this. So I get paid as a professional copywriter. Mm-hmm. I write for movie marketing. I write for Disney, and I do all sorts of different things. I've played around with ChatGPT, GPT, and copywriting is over. 2 years, it's done.
Yeah. I know.
2 years, it's done. Because we are 1 or 2 years away from a $20 an hour PA punching in parameters of ChatGPT and having it kicked out 20 lines for a movie trailer. I mean, it's coming. It's coming, and it's coming soon.
Well, because they're also able to use all of the amazing things that people like you have written that's already on the internet.
Right. So it's... But it's going to happen. But the good news is...
What's the good news?
That in 5 years, the whole world will be gone because of ChatGPT, and we won't have to worry about it.
There you go.
And it'll be, what's that thing called when the machines take over?
The... Transcendence?
No.
Oh, come on, people. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
This is one of those things. This is one of those things where the people at home are going like, God, it's fucking this.
It's Sarah.
No, Johnny Depp did a movie with the title of it.
Yeah, but it's from not Titanic. It's from
oh my God! What
the
is
Singularity.
wrong with us?
The Singularity. Are you talking about the Singularity?
No, we're talking about
the aliens when they come. Transformers. No, it starts with a T.
Not aliens.
It's the machines. The machines.
I'll be back.
I think we should cut this part out.
No, we're totally cutting it out. But I'll be back. What the fuck is it?
Terminator.
It's a Terminator movie. It's when the machines come alive. Charlie will know if I just ask him, but my phone's over there recording.
Terminator.
Yeah.
It's Terminator. So basically, yes, the reckoning of when the machines take
over. Right. When the machines decide the best way to preserve the Earth and keep it still in existence is to get rid of the humans, we are done.
I had a dream. This was in my dream last night.
Where's more wine?
This was in my dream last night, and I remember. Yes, and actually, Deborah Lynn was in my dream last night. My manager, who's passed away. Isn't that so crazy? We were outside, and it was so beautiful outside because we were done. like we were done and just enjoying ourselves and having a really nice time. And I was talking to my kids, and I like couldn't find Gray for a moment, but he was frolicking and stuff. But we were done, so it wasn't like we didn't have a place anymore. It meant that we could just not have to do anything anymore. We were more consumers than we were.
Maybe they uploaded your consciousness, and maybe you still
total
exist.
Matrix.
Well, maybe
that.
then goodness will go into the machines.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, let's give him a break.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's let them have a little
You
sunshine.
still exist. You just.
You're just gonna hang out.
Let's unhook them and get them outside.
Where's your
in some
hammock?
sunshine.
Just get in a hammock. But that's scary. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about this new thing that we found. It is called Moonlight. The magic of Moonlight is simple. It's the experience of reading together with a projection on the wall. Moonlight bridges the gap between traditional and digital books. There are playful projections, vivid sound effects, and read-along features make this multi-sensory storytime a delight. Moonlight is here to help you create imagination-filled, interactive bedtimes for your whole family and make storytime magical again. Use the code Moonlight10 with our link to get an extra 10% off your purchase. It's very cool. So, writer strike.
Yes. That's
And
So what are we
Nice.
watching?
What are we watching?
yeah, because there's no more writing for a while. So all the shows that we loved, like The Great and all these things, are not going to be coming back because there's no writers. So we need to figure out over these next 6 months, what are we going to watch that is old school or new school, but there's seasons that we can purge and binge on. So
Most of my favorites are going to be stuff that people go, yeah, of course, it's amazing. Yeah, I've seen it.
yeah, but they probably haven't rewatched it and they need the reminder.
Well, okay, so for the writer's strike, I would want something that has a lot of seasons.
Yeah.
So that you
We're
could
gonna
go
be
through
here a while.
Yeah.
Forget it. So I would probably start with West Wing.
Done
Yes,
and done.
yes.
7 seasons of perfection.
Yes,
There is not a bad season.
even in the end when they switched to
The new president.
Jimmy Smith.
Well, don't give it away.
No, it's all up.
I'll bleep it. I'll bleep it out.
It's still very, very good.
Oh, it's so good.
It's amazing. It's
and
so
it really covers. First of all, it's Aaron Sorkin, so the writing is fucking walk and talks,
Right.
incredible.
Yep.
But even from the first episode, you get put into politics in this incredible, beautiful way where you really see what's going on, and the language is smarter than you, so you have to figure it out and follow. Like nobody's being dumb.
No, and no one talks down to anybody.
Nobody talks down to anybody. It's a push. Everybody's pushing up.
Yes.
And wasn't that
It's so
like
good.
one of the first where we have a look
Yeah.
into what the White
West
House
Wing,
is and that
yeah.
whole process, because it was always such a unfamiliar, just
Yeah.
like it was like a secret,
Well,
exclusive.
The reality is that the president wasn't supposed to be a big character in that. It was always just supposed to be the staffers.
Kinda like in
and then,
Veep?
And then, yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, what's his name was supposed to be the lead.
Who?
Not Johnny Depp. You know what I'm talking about. The pretty boy.
Pretty boy.
It was Johnny.
You
Depp.
know,
That
the
would've
pretty
been
boy. He's
amazing.
the
Rob Lowe?
Rob Lowe was supposed to be the lead in it.
Okay.
And it was supposed to be him and the staff that was the lead, and the president wasn't the lead, but Martin Sheen is just so fucking
So
incredible.
good that, yeah.
And his story and his way and like so many actors are in it that are just fucking spot on. The casting is incredible. So that's
Yeah.
definitely one.
But if you're a writer, you've already watched all of that.
Yeah.
I guarantee
Oh,
you.
for sure.
Yeah. The other one, it's probably the best written show, and you're gonna go, yeah. A best written show from start to finish
I know what you're gonna say.
is Breaking Bad.
I
yeah.
wasn't gonna say that one, but yes.
Yes, Breaking Bad from start to finish.
I have to finish that one. I feel like I watched like the first like 3 or 4 seasons. I know.
It had I did a movie, a little movie called The Last Jedi.
Oh my.
with Ryan Johnson, and Ryan Johnson had directed an episode, I think 2 episodes of Breaking Bad, maybe 3.
Okay.
Anyway, so he directed, and I talked to him. I said, "Listen, can I geek out and can I ask you about Breaking Bad?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay, we're doing Star Wars, but you sure asked me
Yeah,
about
yeah,
Breaking
yeah.
Bad." And I said, "The incremental change that Walter White had, that Bryan Cranston did from the beginning to the end, was that discussed in every episode? Was that did they give you
Was
directions?
Was there a
that
through
art?
line?
Right.
Or, yeah.
Right. And he said, no, that was all just Vince and Bryan Cranston.
Oh
and
my God.
They worked it all out. So, because that's really what the show was, just
Yeah.
watching this one
His
man.
arc.
I mean, changed this much.
Yeah.
In every episode, it was
Yeah.
brilliant.
He's
and
incredible. Bryan
yeah,
Cranston.
oh.
is
Yeah, and
just
like one of the
fucking-
He's
very
my favorite actor.
He's phenomenal.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
One
I
of the
can see that.
first one of the first film like series too. Like,
Yeah.
the way that it was shot like
I mean,
a
the first
film.
episode, you are just.
And I don't know that it had really
throw you in.
that
Sorry
had
about that.
happened really anywhere else.
Well,
in any other.
You can just push it up.
shows.
Don't worry about being gentle with it.
The idea that it had a beginning, a middle, and an end, and they had it all plotted out
Yeah.
was brilliant.
Yeah.
There are so many great shows that don't do that.
Yeah.
And when you told me today this is what we're going to talk about, I kind of
Good.
made
Bring it.
made
A bad list?
So this is a list of shows where I wish they had a writer's strike before the final season.
Done. Yes, I have one on my list.
I
It's
have one on
probably
my
yours.
list. Too.
So a writer's strike before the last season of Lost would have been
Perfection.
fantastic.
Yes. They should have left us hanging. Yes, absolutely.
Because
oh, man.
they ruined it. It was just like they spent the whole time saying it's not purgatory, it's not purgatory, it's not purgatory,
Yeah.
and then they couldn't think of anything and they made it purgatory.
Yeah.
So that one
Yeah.
would have benefited from a writer's strike.
Yes.
Don't-
I felt like they just kept inventing things and they're like, well, we mentioned it in this episode, so we better show it.
Okay, so
And
a
then-
little J.J. Abrams. So he did this TED Talk where he did this talk about the magic box, and
Yeah.
much more interesting the question about what's in the box than what's actually in the box.
Yeah.
So Lost is a perfect example of that for me, right?
Yeah.
He asked all these questions and provided no answers.
Yeah.
And so he thinks that's more interesting. I think that's a ripoff.
I think it is too.
Yeah, and you leave the
We
series
don't need
going.
it tied in a bow. I don't need a big little red bow, but I need it to make sense. And it felt like they were just throwing noodles at the wall.
And
they were
and
treating us like
100%,
idiots.
Yes, 100%. They were treating us like idiots.
Yeah.
So that's
They'll
why.
like it. There's
Yeah.
a dinosaur or a polar bear.
There's a
whatever.
smoke monster we never explain, and he's
Right.
pushing a bunch of numbers that don't make sense. Yeah, okay.
And also racist.
It
By the
was
way.
racist.
Yeah. So there's a huge article that came out about how every time, listen, it was good. It's with that time, they didn't necessarily focus on actors of color, but they specifically didn't focus on actors of color. So they had all of these other characters, the dad with the kid, and they would he had to fight for scenes with the fact that his kid was going off somewhere. And he's like, why don't I care about this? Why isn't there a scene about us having a discussion about this? And they're like, fine. Like they ended up having to leave the show and all this stuff because they weren't focusing on the actors, even though
Interesting.
they cast actors of color, but they didn't
Just didn't give
focus
'em any
on them
meat.
until they asked, begged for it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay, second.
Sorry, Lost.
Second one that I think could have benefited from a writer's strike before the final season, Game of Thrones.
Oh yes, I
Oh.
read all those books. I read those books, and so for that last season to come out, and we're still waiting on that book,
Yes.
and have
That's rude.
been fucking waiting on that
Yeah.
book.
So-
So I've had to read every other of his books, which I have. I've read all of them, and for that to be, I just
Yeah.
felt like it was a quick finish. Like that could have been a whole nother season, like what they did
A
there
series.
at that end.
Yeah.
But I mean, they just did not take their time. It was like, oh, we just got to get this done. Let's just wrap it up. Let's just get it done.
Yeah.
I really, and I felt like you'd spent so much time building up Khaleesi's agenda.
Yeah.
The fact that she would do bad things, but for the right reasons.
Right.
And all sorts of things. And then just to have her flip out and become
And be evil.
Be
All of a
become
sudden.
evil and
family.
psychotic.
And so I
Well,
feel like
in one episode.
in one episode,
Yeah.
that's the problem. Is it was
That's
in
what I
one
mean.
episode.
It-
If there was an arc to her and she became the finish line, and then they had a whole other series they could base off of her
Well-
reign or whatever it was. Now, do we not like it because we didn't get what we wanted?
No,
I-
they were,
I
they
think
were
it-
setting
no, I
think-
it up for the next series.
I
is
think-
what they were doing because I having
Brandon?
read.
I'm
No,
not
no,
watching
no.
a show of fucking
No,
Brandon.
the one that already
Bran.
came out.
What?
What was
Bran.
talking
Brand.
about?
I don't
No,
care.
the
See,
one
I don't care about him.
the one that already came out about her, all the Targaryens.
Right.
So that book
House of
had already
Dragons.
been
Yeah.
House of
written.
Dragons is good.
Right, but
Yeah.
that whole last scene was to
Yeah.
set up because that's what her great grandparents
Yeah.
did. they went through. So it's in the book, and so when I watched it, I was like, oh, I see what they're doing, because I knew that there was talks about this new series coming out. So they were pulling on that.
I wonder if the question becomes, were they backed into a corner and it was a no-win situation no matter what they did?
They didn't have his writings.
Right.
They didn't.
Honestly.
Bran shouldn't have been the fucking whatever. Like, that just seemed like it came out of nowhere. Like, yes, he's from the first episode and that's great, and the same actor the whole way through and all these things, but like, I feel like it's not like I needed, what's his name? Tyrion. I didn't need him to win, but I needed it to be a reason that Bran won.
Well, honestly, in the defense, being the person, the annoying person, it's like, I read the books. It's he.
I love that you read the books.
But in the books, he has a more prominent that actually is way more developed with Bran throughout the entire series of books, and they tried to just like. Well, let's just throw that in there.
Okay, so don't watch Lost. Definitely read the books of
Game of Thrones.
They
no, but
they're better than the movie.
Watch Lost. The first 2 or 3 seasons
That's true.
are just engrossing, but just don't expect any sort of satisfying ending.
I feel like that's what's happening in Hollywood right now. I'm kind of okay with some of it, but all these
I'm not okay with it.
Well,
had no
The Great
endings.
is really good. House
The
of
Great
Dragons
is
really
fucking
good.
amazing.
I just finished The Great,
amazing.
the new season.
It's
and is
so
it
good.
over now?
Well, there's
I
no
don't think
writers.
so.
I don't think it's over. It's not supposed to be over.
Well, sorry, I can't say that.
Don't say.
Yeah.
Definitely with The Great, it should be. I
think they have more coming. I don't think it was meant to be.
Your life goes on forever.
I have a very age-inappropriate crush on Elle Fanning, so.
I think it's fine. I do too.
Yeah.
I think
I
there's
have
a
a
reason.
crush on that whole show.
Yeah.
She's old enough. Her character's not, but she's old enough.
Oh yeah, she's spectacular.
Beautiful.
She's amazing.
Such a good fucking actor.
She's not only gorgeous. I mean, that's
her acting.
That's
is,
secondary.
So
but
is
she's
her best friend.
But you can't stop watching her when she's on screen.
No,
Yeah.
everything.
Her
is
best
just
friend is on a
perfect.
lot of. She does a lot of work for the National Theater.
Does she?
She
She's
was
fucking
in
amazing. Charlie and I are just
A
like
View from the Bridge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and great cast.
Yeah.
What a great cast. So,
Yeah.
so there's
Okay.
one you can watch.
So
That's
I'm going
good.
to talk about a little bit about that because I do have a show where I feel like that is a lot of it. The casting is fucking huge. So sometimes it isn't necessarily the writing finishing it out because they're under pressure, they have network, whatever it is. Because there's a lot of politics that go into this stuff. But the casting, and there is a casting director, Bonnie Zane, who is with Zane Pillsbury, well, they might just be Zane. Anyway, Bonnie Zane is one of those people that is just perfect casting every fucking time. She did Sports Night.
Love Sports Night.
So if you have the opportunity, she's done a lot. But if you have the opportunity to watch Sports Night, and it's only 3 seasons, I think, but
didn't do well.
Fucking perfect.
It didn't do well.
Which is crazy
Well,
to me.
and the beautiful thing about Sports Night is you can watch Sports Night and go, oh, that's where they started the walk and talk. And
That's right.
That's before it got to West Wing.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that was Bonnie Zane, like her casting, her pulling those people in. And oh my God, she's helping us cast the new show.
Did she
we're doing.
cast his other one, Newsroom?
Yeah, I believe so.
I
yes.
love Newsroom.
Oh man, but that's the thing. That's Sorkin. Like if you love Sorkin, you love Sorkin. Okay, I'm gonna bring another one to the table. Buffy.
Love Buffy.
Done.
Love Buffy.
That was when
Disregard
I was
the
not
director.
watching television.
Okay,
and
so-
I just,
Disregard the director.
even if I did watch,
Even though he's
television,
amazing
I would never
director.
watch
He's
not a good
one of the
person.
greatest stuff. So I've had 2 run-ins with Joss Whedon.
Oh man,
Both of
he's
them
so
were
good.
amazing.
Yeah,
So no comment on
Right.
what he's done.
and we don't know.
Right.
I don't know him personally.
So I did a tribute reel to Joss Whedon way back in the day where we did Buffy and Angel, and we did this was before Dollhouse, and so we did a tribute reel, and I made a whole thing edited wise.
Is it up where we can see it?
It's probably online somewhere.
Yeah, I want to watch it.
And then I was working at working on Star Wars when he was working on Infinity War. Was it Infinity War he did? Yeah. So was it Infinity?
Before the controversy.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I ran into him and I said, hey, Joss, he goes, oh, you're working on Star Wars. And I said, yeah, I'm working on Star Wars. And I said, he said, I love Star Wars. And I said, yeah, you made a whole television series about Han Solo. Because Firefly,
Oh yes,
I naturally
100%,
assumed was about Han Solo. And he goes, no, I made a whole series about Millennium Falcon.
Oh my God. That's another one we will rewatch. That is perfect. We will rewatch. Charlie asks for this all the time. He's like, can we watch? And I'm like, fine.
Firefly?
Firefly.
Yeah.
It's so good. That's another thing. The casting. That's another casting perfection that is just, that's what makes it. Like your show that you just did on stage.
Yeah.
We sat there and knew that this casting is perfect. So, as a director, we have to kind of let it go, right? We do all we can. They're going to be the ones vulnerable on stage. And yes, we come in and like make, help or whatever. But you had such a good cast too that they just took it. Yeah, that's huge. Bonnie Zane, I love you, Bonnie Zane.
Well, okay, so interesting. Buffy, they made the movie. Joss Whedon didn't like the movie, so he made a TV series.
Yeah.
And then he made a TV series for Firefly. It didn't go very well, so he made a movie called Serenity, which was the pilot episode of
It was?
Firefly. Yes, it was. And it expanded, but it was the pilot of Firefly, and it did really well.
Yeah, that's amazing. Buffy is so funny, and it's not like the movie, get it out of your head. It is funny. It is perfectly cast. It is really well written. The characters are just so complete, and there are episodes in there. Hush
is a brilliant episode.
Fucking A. So there's
The
episodes
musical
in there
episode.
that just, oh my God, that just move you. And you can,
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Buffy,
Oh,
it
yeah.
sounds dumb.
No,
Buffy
no,
the Vampire
it's
Slayer.
I
brilliant.
never gave it a chance.
It is
Brilliant.
so good.
It is brilliant.
I didn't watch really hardly any TV through the 90s and 2000s.
Well, you're not a big TV watcher
early
anyway.
2000s, except anything on HBO in the early 2000s, late 90s, that Sunday night lineup when you had Sex in the City and you had Sopranos and Oz and like 6 Feet Under and all
Sopranos
that.
was a brilliant show.
6 Feet Under. I
So
would
good.
rewatch that one for sure.
Oh, Deadwood. Can
I
we
never
talk
watched
about
that one?
Oh, talk about Shakespearean
Okay.
It is, yeah.
in the
Is
West.
that good? Is that up our alley?
It's
Yeah,
so
you
good.
would love it.
Okay, Deadwood.
Yeah, you would love it.
Pretty much anything.
Okay, I have one more show that I
Okay.
wish they had a writer's strike
Oh,
before the final
let's
episode.
talk about the shitties.
And
Which
that
is
is How I Met Your Mother.
Oh,
I just
I
never
know.
got into it.
We
It's
did.
another show. If
Oh,
it was
it's
on,
so
like,
brilliant.
Charlie and I
CW,
did, yeah.
I never watched any of that.
It was really good.
The way they wrote it, the writing
well,
on that show.
Allison Hannigan again. Yeah.
The way they wrote that show was brilliant, but the ending was just.
I know.
I wish they
I felt like
hadn't
they
have
showed
done
you
that.
into a
Find out
sock.
how he met the
Yeah,
mother.
but it was-
Finally,
Well, yes, he does meet the woman that turned.
That
But
gives birth to his children.
Yes, but the way they ended it was just it totally what's the word I'm looking for? Made the entire series insignificant. It
It could have been a
didn't
movie.
matter. It didn't matter. Yeah. So
That's the thing too, is like there's when I was in like 6th grade, we had to write a story and it had to have like a surprise ending, and so people were putting in their work or whatever. I mean, I don't know that we were in 6th grade, so I don't really remember, but I remember that I did this whole elaborate thing, and then at the end, it was all a dream. And my teacher gave me an F in 6th grade in Parma, Ohio.
good for her.
I know, right? Because my experience was like Newhart or whatever.
Dallas.
Dallas, right? Where you wake up and it's all a dream and it doesn't really. And because I didn't know how to end shit. And so when I have really personal feelings about, not that How I Met Your Mother was a dream, but I have really hard feelings about people that try to just wrap it up at the end because me.
It wasn't even the way that they wrapped it up at the end. It was that the choice that they made at the end of the series just made the entire journey to find your mother insignificant.
Yeah.
And
It was like after all that.
it really bothered me.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the show was so freaking brilliant.
Yeah.
Up until then. The other show that you should watch if you haven't watched it, which everybody's watched it, but you should watch Maisel.
I've watched the first season of that. Should we continue after the first 2 seasons?
Such brilliant writing, such
Really?
brilliant acting. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, it's brilliant. It's just brilliant.
Okay, that's a big word. I love that.
well, you
Yeah.
know, I watch things like What We Do in the Shadows.
Yes, I know. I've seen that.
It's so
fucking
funny. It's
brilliant.
so stupid and wonderful and dumb.
It is the best.
Yeah,
it is
really
so
good.
smart. It is like
What's your
it's
favorite
like
sitcom?
tacky and funny
It is
but
so
like all in
wonderful,
one
yeah.
breath. and
What's
they
your
do-
favorite sitcom?
My favorite sitcom?
Cheers.
Yeah,
Cheers.
I grew up on
Cheers.
Cheers.
So did I.
I got most of my formal education from Cheers.
Yeah,
Same.
Cheers and MASH.
Yeah.
Those are the two. That
Taxi.
You can watch. Oh,
I did watch Taxi.
Sometimes Taxi, I'm in and out though. Like I feel with Cheers, Charlie and I will do two things. We will watch. We will binge. And because we like lay in bed together at night and like watch a couple episodes while he does nice to my hair, and we watch Cheers or Frasier.
I can never get Charlie to do that for me.
He will. You
Yeah.
just have to ask.
All right.
He's really nice about
All
it. But Cheers and I mean, of course, Friends and stuff like that. But Cheers and Frasier.
Yeah.
Frasier is a stage play.
It is.
It is
yeah.
so good. It is like if you love theater, it is ridiculous and amazing. I think that's part of the thing. I'm noticing my thread is a lot of stagey.
Yeah, well,
That's
what a
okay.
sitcom
That's what a
is.
sitcom
Yeah,
is.
A sitcom
That's
is
true.
like a stage
So my
play.
favorite sitcom is Parks and Rec.
Love.
Just because I think it's brilliant. I think it's perfect.
It is.
I love. They obviously tried to get Amy Poehler to do like the next Office.
Yeah. Like uncomfortable, weird.
Right,
Yeah.
but then
Except-
this is just my take on it, and it seems to me like this happened after the first season. She decided I'm not going to be an idiot. I'm going to be passionate. And
Yes.
And so her comedy
That's right.
came out of the fact that she was so overly passionate about everything, and it just flew from there. It
Yeah.
just took off.
And I think that's the thing as actors is we have to remember too is a lot of the times we'll go in or we'll read a breakdown and we're like, we have to do this. And it's like, yeah, but what do you bring to this scenario? And her is the likability of just being overly passionate, which then can annoy other people, right? And
Yeah.
it fit into that scenario.
It's just
Yeah.
and every character in that is just brilliant, and
Yeah.
the writing is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's great.
And
Yeah.
30 Rock is another one. So
30 Rock is
30
very
Rock
fun,
is
but on a
so
different
good.
level.
on a totally
30,
different level.
30 Rock can be very episodic. You could watch one 30 Rock
And then skip
and
ahead.
then skip ahead.
Yeah.
But Parks and Rec, you kind of got to
You
follow
have to have
follow
story.
alarm. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
What you got, girl? I know you got something.
Well, I've got some, I got X-Files. I
Yep.
was all about some X-Files
Oh,
growing
I
up.
should
I
rewatch
was
those.
obsessed.
I feel like I should rewatch those. I feel like those are so.
Now that we're older and we can understand a little better,
Yes.
like what was
I
happening,
wonder.
but I had that for me, and
I wonder.
I
Yeah.
forget, but I liked Golden Girls and Sanford and Son.
Oh, yeah.
like 227 and
227 with
and we
Jack
are living
Yes.
single.
Do we
That
have
was my
those? Like, can
song.
we access those? Do you think on like Netflix or whatever?
I think
Well,
feel like living
Nick,
single.
probably on Nick.
Yeah.
Probably
Oh,
if you
maybe.
go on the Nick site, maybe.
Yeah.
Sanford and Son, I don't know, but that I watched so much of that when
Is
I
that
was
why
growing
you are
up.
how the way you are?
I think so.
Sanford and Son it's just a guess, but did they say, oh, we're gonna make an African American version of All in the Family? Or-
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's
they
exactly
crossed
what it
over,
was.
didn't they? Do crossover
Right.
episodes? Can I tell you? His name was Red
Red Fox.
Red Fox, yeah.
Can I tell you guys a comic story about Red Fox?
Yeah.
Please.
Okay, here's the thing in the comedy world of stand-up. Sometimes you don't know if it's your own story that you experienced or if you've heard it so many times in the group that you're like, oh, it must have been. It's somebody else's story. So this could be totally somebody else's story. But my memory of this story that I probably made up in my head is that what happened was that it was a Tuesday night, not a lot of people in the audience. Red Fox was headlining, and he came in. And they play him up on stage, right? So the opener is like, hey, we have Red Fox. He's amazing. And they go, ba-ba-ba-da, ba-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba. And he goes up on stage and he grabs the mic and he goes, yeah, I'm not gonna do this. And immediately he goes, ba-ba-ba-da, ba-ba, and he walks right off stage. And that was it. Because he was like, it's not enough people for me. But they played him off so quickly that it just worked and everybody was very happy.
That's hilarious.
I know.
I would have gone just for that.
I
I'd
know.
have paid the money.
So yeah, I don't know if that's my story. It probably isn't. I'm sure it's not because I don't remember Red Fox at the Improv or Zanies, but he was probably dead by then. But it's a story that's in the circuit,
It was very Costanza. Leave him on a high note, just
right?
like-
Yeah. It's
Speaking
like,
of another
no, I'm not
sitcom,
going to do this.
Seinfeld. I did get down on some Seinfeld.
Yeah, that's one that you can jump into. 'cause
And the Curb
everybody's
Your
so-
Enthusiasm, as was just an
Don't
extension
don't like
of-
Curb as much. And I've played golf with Larry David, by the way.
Have you?
Oh,
Yeah.
Larry.
A Curb is super funny.
Yeah.
But
I get
after about
tired
5
after a while.
episodes, I'm like,
To me, it's the irony of
I can't binge it.
he perfected again
Yeah.
the art of having a show about nothing, because the whole show was about him now not having Seinfeld and what's his next thing. He has nothing going
Yeah.
on.
I
So-
think that show to me is like give me a scenario and I will give you the worst case scenario in that situation. Like, I will figure out what would be the worst way this could go, and that's what we'll do.
Well, and Cheryl Hines. I'll watch her do anything.
Yeah. She's phenomenal.
Yeah.
We based our entire pilot
on that.
On Curb Your, us as Curb Your, like,
not
being in those
not
scenarios.
Stealing, but it was sort of like,
but like worst case scenario. We're just like, we just fuck everything up.
Situational fuck ups.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which is not
so that's
far from the truth. So it's fine.
That's why we wrote it.
I mean, but he has the freedom, being a cajillionaire, to do whatever the hell he wants, right?
To open a coffee shop, just to piss off the coffee shop owner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's part of the thing. Like, it can only happen to Larry David because he has the freedom to do that stuff. He literally has fuck you money. And
but won't that be fun that we can? Oh, there's somebody around my gate. Won't that be fun though, that we can, like, that'll be our future, that we can just, like, go into situations and be like, me. I mean, fuck it. No, I'm too self-conscious. I can't do it.
I don't know.
This leads us back to caring about what other people think of us.
Exactly.
Once I hit 50, it's fucking on, Ted.
Well, hey, Ted, I got something to tell you.
Yeah?
Moms are too.
Got something to tell you
right now.
Today.
Oh.
So, Butts Drugs is real, and it's in Corydon, Indiana, and they've got free parking in the rear.
It's called Butt Drugs.
Butts Drugs.
Is it Butts? With it? No, it's Butt Drugs.
Oh, it's just Butt Drugs.
Butt Drugs is real. It is a real place that exists, and they do commercials for butt drugs.
Southern Indiana.
Southern, of course.
It's not a person named Butt.
No,
I don't know.
They literally
pharmacy.
do drugs for your...
Pharmaceutical drugs. They also have liquor.
They do all of the drugs. I think it might be somebody's name, but
it totally is.
But they call it Butt Drugs, and so their commercial is really leaning into. Yeah, they really lean into the butt drugs aspect of it. But it's a pharmacy, so they have everything for whatever.
There's a link in the descriptions on this. You need to go check out their commercial because they have all the townspeople talking about, I get all my drug needs from Butt Drugs.
Yeah, everything I need is at Butt Drugs.
Yeah.
So it's not specifically for the anus.
No, but they make so many funny jokes, like, and free parking in the rear. Like
they're so funny. The commercial is freaking hilarious.
So go check it out. It's great, and it's in Corydon, Indiana.
I don't know things in Indiana.
Butt Drugs.
Moms are too.